Are having an amazing day to talk about what's happening in the XRP community. Now, corporate capital speeds at around 39 cents, guys, being stable. All these coins are, as you guys can see, possibly for the next leg up. Now, I was trying to post my second video yesterday, guys, but there were, of course, difficulties and whatnot, right? Technical difficulties. Now, hopefully that gets resolved soon, because that video is pretty insane if you ask me, and it's already happening on the other side of the world, guys, right? This new world that's inbound, perhaps. Now, today we're going to be talking about this war and what's really happening, guys, because it seems like 2024 will literally not occur, right? Will we even reach 2024 at this point in time? I'm not even sure, guys, because it's going to tie in with Mr. Pool tweets, so pay attention very carefully. But expert 50% value only. Pentagon BSer confronted with a persistent journalist.
To look at this and say the reason that the Russian army is on NATO, the Russian army is at NATO's doorstep is because NATO has expanded rather than the Russians expanding. That, in other words, NATO has moved closer to Russia rather than Russia moving closer to NATO. Is that not an accurate way to look at this?
I think that's the way President Putin probably looks at it. It's certainly not the way that we look at it.
You don't think that NATO has expanded eastward toward Russia?
NATO has expanded,
okay.
and the expansion has been a good thing for.
So the reason that the Russian army is at NATO's doorstep is not the fault of the Russian army, it's not the Russian army that's done it. It's NATO has moved closer to
I'm pretty
east.
sure it wasn't NATO who was ordering, upwards of 15 battalion tactical groups to within 10 kilometers of the border with Ukraine. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't NATO who put little green men inside Ukraine to destabilize eastern states.
I'm pretty sure that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. So unless that's changed,
it's not changed. But I'm pretty sure the movement by Russia is Russia's decision.
If NATO has moved east, the reason that the Russian army is closer or on NATO's doorstep is because NATO moved.
NATO is not an anti-Russia alliance. NATO is a security alliance.
For 50 years, it was an anti-Soviet alliance. So do you not understand how, or can you not even see how the Russians will perceive it as a threat? And the fact that it keeps getting closer to their border, while their troops, I mean, the places where their troops are, you say their troops are, and may have been in Ukraine and Georgia, are not NATO members.
I'm not going to pretend to know what goes in President Putin's mind or Russian military commanders. I mean, I barely got a history degree at the University of South Florida. What I can tell you is that NATO is a defensive alliance. It remains a defensive alliance.
Fair enough, but it has moved east. Correct? I mean, that's just a fact.
It has expanded, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
But there's no reason for anybody to think the expansion is a hostile or threatening move. And we've been saying that throughout the last 15 years, man.
You're moving closer to Russia. You're blaming the Russians for being close to NATO.
No.
That's exactly what Hegel said.
We're blaming the Russians for violating the territorial integrity of Ukraine and destabilizing the security
which is
situation
not a
inside
NATO
Europe.
member. Which is not a NATO.
I see
other countries feel threatened.
Basically, they're trying to escalate this narrative or war, shall we say, guys, right? To further push the collapse that's literally inbound and possibly the end of the world. Why? Check this out from Mr. Pool. Now, guys, there's the fun part of XRP in the XRP community. This is quite interesting. So, Mr. Pool has been tweeting guys, he's been very active recently, right? So, on 2/17/23, quote unquote impending, as you guys can see. Let's check this out. So that's number one, right? Impending, meaning we're waiting for all this to take place, guys, right? It is going to be upcoming. A connection to the past as well from 9/16/22, guys. Don't forget one of the key pieces with Mr. Pool and the rocket that goes towards the moon. There is a submarine in the lower left-hand corner. That's a big deal too, right? Interesting. I don't think you understand. The submarine will probably play a huge role setting off a catalyst which brings in the dominoes of the new world. Wow. Which will connect to, obviously, which we just seen, right? Impending, meaning we are getting very close, guys. So new like and tweets removal. As you guys can see, new like, all this stuff, guys. And then there's a tweet removal as well. Impending nuke, new times left, right? Did we just hear nuke? Of course we did, because that's where the world is literally heading towards, it seems like. We're going to be talking about it now. Mr. Pool profile update from earlier, now gone. Electronic Payments International. If you go down here, 11. Cover story, Ripple and blockchain, right? So we're talking about Ripple here, guys. Isn't that crazy? 11. Planned. Senators have a deal on the crypto amendment, and Treasury won't oppose it. Will this take place during the collapse? Or in that same time frame? Seems like it, guys, right? Then, 11. December 3, 10 a.m. An emergency. 11. 11. 11. Guys, what does 11 mean? Right? Could it be November? Could it be January? What could it be? Could it be 2 as in February if you just add it up? Now, major companies using Ripple, as you guys can see, of course it all ties in with Ripple, guys, and XRP. We're not making any of this stuff up, right? All of this. So, Mr. Pool tweets about the collapse is literally imminent, and then we see here a connection to Ripple and XRP, and look at that, Swift as well, right? Think about that, guys. Any other cryptocurrency per se? Well, there will be multiple digital assets to be integrated into what the new financial system, but the main one is XRP, right? This month. Fascinating connection, guys. Now, follow the green light. Interesting as well, right? Blue and green. Follow the green colors, it'll lead you to prosperity. The green colors, right? As in Swift, Ripple, XRP, guys, which will take us and lead us towards what? Prosperity, right? Abundance. Isn't that funny? Then another post by Mr. Pool right here. TSAP, as you guys can see, if you go down here. The nuke supposedly is imminent, guys. Pass as well, right? This will connect to alarm and countdown before a 5.9 earthquake in China. Interesting, an earthquake calm perhaps. Transport Service Access Point, OSI, as you guys can see right here as well. Now what does this all seem like, guys? What does this all mean? The storm is coming, it's already here, among us. You are nearly out, and yet the worst is still on the horizon to come. Again, the worst, what could it be? A nuke, definitely. Isn't it? Or is it just an illusion in your mind? As time goes on, the only proof you need is in the past. Again, as the past proves the future proves the past. Past proves the future, and yet the future will always prove the past. This is the time to keep everything you know to yourself. Knowledge is power. However, that knowledge cannot stop what's coming no matter how hard you try. The plan is fully in motion, and its initial phases are nearly all complete. Message ends. There you guys go. So it seems like the simulation cannot be stopped, right? Even though you supposedly are free, because this is all just an illusion, but is it? If you go back here. So in conclusion, we know that something terrible is looming, right? Connect to this tweet from Stellar17. Pool's new video is a repost from 12/4/21, 440 days later. 444 days takes us to February 21, 23. This video is of an emergency countdown broadcast before an earthquake in China on 6/17/2019. That's 44 months from Pool's post on 2/17/23. 44 months, 4 days on 2/21/23. An earthquake is supposedly taking place on in a couple days from now, basically, right? So what are our thoughts, guys? We got natural disasters, we got war, we got all types of stuff happening. As time goes on, the only proof you need is in the past, right? Isn't that something, guys? The only proof you need is in the past. So that would mean one thing, that everything, all events in the future have already happened in the past. What? This is 100% verifiable warning of what is coming on 2/21/23, right? Interesting. Let's wait and see, guys. Focus on Putin's declaration of war scheduled for 2/21/23. Again, what's going to happen, right? An escalation of war, perhaps? 3/2/1. 9/11, right? And if you go to this tweet right here, breaking: UK Prime Minister and US Vice President call the war in Ukraine a quote-unquote global war. Again, they're going to bring every nation possible, right? Include everyone, guys. This is crazy. Why is no one trying to de-escalate the war?
We're delivering as much equipment in the next few months as in the whole of 2022. And
wow.
Together, we must help Ukraine to shield its cities from Russian bombs and Iranian drones. And that's why the United Kingdom will be the first country to provide Ukraine with longer-range weapons. And it's why we're working with our allies to give Ukraine the most advanced air defense systems and build the air force they need to defend their nation.
Again, all the proof is right here, guys, right? That they're going to escalate this war as much as possible. Bring everyone in, guys. Now, if you go back here, there's a lot of posts, guys. There's too many different things happening. If you go back here, Mr. Pool new like, as you guys can see, Ukraine and Russian war, right? It's all about this, guys. Listen to this right here. There you guys go. No stop. No one's going to stop what's inbound, guys, right? So at this point, it doesn't even matter. As you guys can see, a Russian Navy ship fires a caliber cruise missile from the Black Sea into Ukraine, right? Not stopping, guys. At the end of all of this, from beginning 22, and quote-unquote demonic force and a quote-unquote destroyer. Team Goat tells you openly, but 99.9% dismiss it, the coming world leader. Tucker Carlson called Trump a demonic force and a destroyer, right? He's going to be the quote-unquote savior as well, guys. When it's time. Again, look what's happening during Joe Biden presidency. Why him? Come on, guys, right? It's all in front of our faces. Today should be interesting, right? Because Mr. Pool did post on today, guys. And today is a 9/11 day as well, right? Expect the unexpected. Interesting. Focus on 2/19. Again, guys, let's prepare for these next few days, right? Because supposedly there's a lot taking place. Now, the fountain for Tasty Dough comes from Baba Cooks. Begin today. Interesting. So we got February 22 is a check mark, guys. Right? Fascinating. Isn't it interesting how it goes from February 22 back to February 22, right? From the above mirror back to the below mirror. Look at this, guys. What? Many exciting things will be unveiled on Battery Day 9/22, right? National Battery Day is February 18th today as well. Wow, what are the chances of all this, right, guys? Interesting. From Elon Musk as well. Confirmed. That's pretty insane, if you ask me. Let's wait and see, guys, to see what takes place. Not financial advice. But anyways, that's all for you guys. Peace and yes, see ya.